Welcome, Hagerman community. This is your chairman, Brian Whitmarsh, and
Dr. Jim Brown, superintendent / principal, elementary school.
We are going to give you a little bit of an update as to what took place 2 board meetings ago and the last board meeting, which was Monday. Today is Wednesday, right? Okay. We're going to try to be a little bit more on top of this and give you updates more often. I apologize. It's been kind of a crazy couple months. But first of all, what we're going to do is start off with recognition. We have some employees of the month that you would like to announce. Please tell us who the employees of the month were for August, correct?
Correct. So for the certified employee of the month from the high school was Jolinda Salasabal.
Woo! Yay! We need a blowhorn or something.
We do, yes.
Okay. Sorry.
And definitely well deserved. And for the classified employee of the month from the elementary school was Kim Westra.
Excellent. All right. And then during that meeting, what were the highlights that we talked about in that meeting? I know we did a whole bunch of policies, which we don't want to highlight those, right? But we do want to highlight, we went over our audit. Huge kudos to Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
We, as a board, we were kind of nervous about that, right? We had both our last superintendent and district clerk leave on the same day back in, I think it was January or February last year. And we were worried about, okay, we've got this audit coming up, and we passed it with flying colors, which was awesome. Kudos again to Kathy. And the numbers look great. We ended up with almost an additional $300K to our general fund, which is huge. And then also child nutrition. We wanted to highlight that because we went from we've always kind of had a negative number in the past, and some great efforts by Luann Coates there to bring that from a negative
9,000 to a positive 30,000.
So that's huge, right? And at the same time, we were able to feed people during COVID, feed the kids. So great effort there. What other highlights did we have that we wanted to mention?
So also, Mr. Wadsworth recognized Vicki Owsley for being named the Teacher of the Year by the Masonic Lodge. And so kudos to Vicki and her efforts.
That's huge.
That's
Teacher
really powerful.
Of the year.
You
okay.
bet. In addition, there was a plasma cutter that they've purchased, and it's now in use. And for those of you that have attended any of the football games, you've seen those notices on the fence where that's just one of the uses. We also plan to put signs at all the doors for all the teachers by utilizing that plasma cutter.
Arrgh! Yeah, I got outbid, I think, by a Maven camp, was it? I went to the FFA banquet, and we were bidding on, they had a 3x4 foot sheet of metal that we could customize, and I went as high as I could, but Maven camp outbid me. But anyways, that's pretty cool. All the stuff that they can do now with that plasma cutter in the ag program. So, what other highlights do we have here?
Well, we also have a number of hires that we did during that last board meeting, and those commendable hires were Camry Cunningham. She's a special ed para. William Mackey, a special ed para, along with a number of coaches, Jason Rowley, the assistant football coach, and Camry Cunningham, JV volleyball coach.
Excellent. And on that topic of volleyball, I guess we'll get to that in the next update because we have an athletic update for you. We do have districts coming up, and that's our teams are participating in that, so we'll talk about that here in a second. All right. Anything else that on my notes that we missed? Let's just double check. We're both trying to figure out if we can read all of this stuff, because as you get older, your eyes start to fail you. Audit, we hit on that. We hit on the plasma. We hit on... Okay, all right. Fast forward. We'll do better next time. I apologize we didn't have a video for that one. But now let's talk about the board meeting that just took place on Monday, 2 days ago. And obviously there was a lot of interest. It was great to have the community involved in that meeting. They showed up. Obviously we were spaced chairs apart, distance apart. But it was great to have people, again, and have the community involved in our board meetings. And the hot topic of the day, obviously, was around our COVID protocol. And I'll pop that up on the screen, show you where we at. We've been in yellow since the start of school. And what South Central Health District, we've been working very closely with them. They provide the metrics and they kind of analyze the different counties as to the spread and severity and so on of COVID in our area. And they kept us in yellow for quite a while. We actually went green, I think 2 weeks ago. As a board, we said let's let it settle out. Let's stay in yellow, and then they just recently moved us and a number of other counties into orange. And the discussion was, do we move into orange at the same time? And our orange protocol is a little bit different. It speaks to an A/B schedule, a split schedule. We had 11 folks that spoke, which was great, and a lot of really good input as to the overall sentiment. In fact, the unanimous sentiment was that it would not be beneficial for our students in our district to go to a split schedule. Getting them out of the classroom was obviously perceived, and it's tough for those kids to learn out of the classroom. And then there's other things like, when they're not in school, they're probably going to be in the community anyway. So is that really, we have a controlled environment, right? We have hand sanitizer. We have people that are encouraging social distancing, and we have dividers. So we have a fairly structured place for them to go in our district, in the buildings. In addition, we provide meals, and we took that all into account. I did want to mention Cindy Kinder. She presented started off on how the Bayer Fund grant funds were used, and even had a color chart on that. Career fair was a big success, I think. Got a lot of good feedback. Now, you weren't even there with the career fair, but it
sounded phenomenal.
It was a big hit. We had a bunch of different people that talked about different careers, and there was a lot of buzz to help our kids understand what's next, what's after high school, what are some of the possibilities. Fun Food Lab Friday. That was a great event. Food. Who doesn't like food? And a lot of events were done there and sponsored by the Bayer Grant. The science fair was, I know Mr. Wadsworth spent a lot of energy and time in getting the science fair going and highlighting our students that were doing in the ag program and in science classes, doing a lot of this science fair. So the funding was done there. And then also, what was impactful was Cindy spent a lot of time talking about the mental health. And so often we talk about physical statistics and physical health, but mental health plays into it big time, right? And with our students, it's tough when they don't have a place to go to.
Absolutely. In fact, we definitely want to follow up with that and get some training for our staff, so that we can better identify students and staff who are struggling. And so really valuable information that we can take advantage of right here in Hagerman.
Great. All that to be said, I stay in touch with not only the contacts at South Central Health District, but also the folks at St. Luke's that have the main hospital in Twin Falls and around the area. And we felt as a board that we would stay in yellow. So the decision was made, let's stay in yellow. We always monitor what's going on, but for now, we're staying in yellow and not moving to a different protocol level. So,
absolutely. I just want to really recognize the chairman, Brian Whitmarsh, who allowed us just to have this forum set up so that we could get some parent input and some feedback and some voice prior to making a decision with the latest change going to Oregon. So, want to recognize those families as well who shared their voice and allowed us to make what we feel is the best educated decision for the students of Hagerman and our community members. So kudos to following that protocol and, for not panicking. Our goal is we want to stay open and stay open as long as we can, unless for the most part we get shut down. So that's what we want to avoid, and that's been our goal and philosophy since the beginning of the school year. And if we have to do so in yellow, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Yeah, I had set that form up a long time ago, requesting public input, and every time I go to the board meeting and we check public input, and there is none. And then yesterday I clicked on it, and like there was 11 responses. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm on the wrong page. And I'm like, oh no, this is public input. So it was great to see that working. We had some more employees of the month for September. Who are those?
Yeah, so for the Certified Employee of the Month, this month it was from the elementary school, and that is Jen Jackson, 4th grade teacher.
Woohoo!
Phenomenal, just exceptional job.
Brand new teacher.
Brand new teacher.
Brand new teacher.
But you would never know from observing her classroom. She's just super organized. Lesson plans are fully detailed. Her action and implementation is truly admirable. So just a delight to work with, and so very, very worthwhile. The classified employee of the month was Craig Jackson. He's been a custodian for the Hagerman School District for, I believe, 17 years now, and truly does a great job. I know he gave me the full tour from my first week in the district, and so just wonderful to work with. Very pleasant man, and does a phenomenal job.
Okay, and we have some pictures of that presentation, so we'll hopefully be able to include those posted here. Then we moved on and talked about the ISBA annual conference. That's the Idaho School Board Association. And this is an opportunity for us as board members and staff and faculty, or staff and administrative folks to go to different workshops and learn. And we made the decision it was an early bird special, and if we paid one flat fee, it was like $1,500 that we could all attend. And so I think that'll be a great resource for us. It's all virtual this year, which saves us money because there's no hotel costs and all that. It was going to be in Sun Valley, but it's going to be all virtual, and all the sessions will be recorded. So even if we can't attend, I think it's a few days in November. It's coming up first or second week in November. Then we can watch those whenever available. Those are great resources. We continually need to improve and grow, and that's one opportunity for us to do that. Then we had a focus on the venture upwards. Give us an update on where we are with current numbers of students and the venture program.
Okay, so we are down a little bit from 2019 with our brick and mortar students, but overall, our overall numbers of students were up about 70 students. So at the elementary school, we have 148 students currently, the high school 135, and we have 105 in venture for a total of 388. Last year, this time they were at 322. So overall, our numbers are higher. Of course, 105 of those are from venture. The pleasant thing that I've seen lately, though, is some of our venture numbers are declining, and our brick and mortar is increasing. So I'm happy to see that a number of those are coming back to our face-to-face option, which is
right. Online doesn't work for everyone, but for the folks that it does work for, it's the venture program is a great program. We spent a lot of time before you even started, working with the venture folks, making sure it was the right fit for our district, and it's good that we have options for our students. All right, then we got into the continuous improvement plan. We discussed forming another committee to do that, and we apologize. We had a committee right before it was first of last year, where we spent a lot of time getting our continuous improvement plan updated. It didn't completely get done, and this time we're going to take lessons learned from last time, all of our meeting notes, and we're going to complete an update to our continuous improvement plan. Those are normally a 5-year deal, and what we want to do is we want to align them with your goals. We want to align them with the goals for our students and our district, and we're going to revisit that. We should be continually revisiting that, continuous improvement, continually revisiting that, and making sure that it continues to align with what we want to do here at the district. And
So with that, we have met with the teams at the elementary school, let them know to provide us with some names who want to serve on that committee, and hopefully we'll have one of our first SIP meetings next week.
Sure.
So that's our goal, to make sure we get one at least before the first quarter ends, and then probably one each quarter.
Great. Oh, and I wanted to make sure that we highlighted the student, because we have employees of the month, but we also have students. And let's go ahead and highlight those again. These are the August students of the month, and talk to us about what ARG is.
Okay, so these are like the best of the best. These are the students that exhibit the virtues that we instill in the Hagerman School District, and that is positive attitude, respect, responsibility, gratitude, and honesty. And so we have one right here that Mr. Whitmarsh is displaying right now. Yes, and so for attitude was Virginia Mavenkamp in 2nd grade. Respect, 1st grade, Sage Fairchild. Responsibility, out of 4th grade, Hudson Wood. Gratitude, from kindergarten, Jackson James. And honesty, from 5th grade, Daly Vader. So kudos to all of those students.
We need a cowbell.
We do need
Maybe
a cowbell.
next time we get a cowbell. But yeah, that's great. And you, the staff, they're watching these kids, and those that display these qualities, then they select, and that's how you win.
Yes, and I would have to, and I would say too, this is not an easy deal. So every staff member has to agree with each one.
Yeah.
So if any one staff member has a concern, then of course we go to the next student on the list. And so it's a great honor, and we definitely want to make sure that we recognize those individuals
My
for
daughter,
strong effort.
Daughter's calling us right in the middle of this. That's fine. We'll get to her later. Anyways, and then now let's recognize the September.
Okay, so for September, those students that displayed attitude, out of kindergarten, Charlie Ammett, and 4th grade, Addie Claus. Respect, 3rd grade, Colt Lemon. 6th grade, Tristan Sears. For responsibility, from 1st grade, Jace Patterson, and 4th grade, Alex Munoz. Gratitude, from 3rd grade, Riley Boyer, and 5th grade, Aurora Tucker. And lastly, honesty, 2nd grade, Hazel Adams, and 6th grade, Jonah Knapp.
Woo! How about it? It's classy. Just FYI. Woo! Didn't want Tiffany getting me in trouble. All right. So those are the students of the month. We talked about the employees of the month. We highlighted the items that we covered. Did you have any other notes that you wanted to include?
The other thing I shared a little bit with the board, my goals, and so I'll just highlight on just a few that stand out for me. Is one, we established some focus areas for the Hagerman Joint School District. Those have to do with our school-wide positive behavior intervention and support plan, focusing on AVID, which is about rigor, organizational practices, and best practices, and teaming. And this is something that I'm a firm believer in, to maximize our resources and efforts in order to perform the best and get the best out of what we're in the direction that we're moving. We've got to collaborate. We've got to have some shared leadership and some unity. And so those are the focus areas. And of course, we've established building goals and individual goals for all the students and staff, or excuse me, for all the staff. We also, some of my individual goals would be to provide a board update weekly. I'm getting recertified with Charlotte Danielson in modules 1 through 4. We also want to revisit the school improvement plan, update our crisis management handbook, as well as implement practices and training sessions for those practices. And then restructure and assign the staffing needs to where it's going to best utilize their abilities. From an elementary principal perspective, my goal is to observe classrooms weekly, be in all classrooms weekly, and attend all team meetings weekly. So those are just a few of the highlights from that stand out the most.
Great. The one goal that I thought was huge, that was that you wanted to make sure that the students achieve 2 years of growth. And we didn't get tested last year because of the whole COVID thing. But the goal is that we get caught up, and not only caught up, but we are on par with 2 years of growth at the end of this year. So that's a great goal, and something that we will definitely support you on, because we don't want our kids falling behind. And
correct.
That was
right. So that's a 2 years growth, would actually be a year's growth from last year because they weren't tested, and a year's growth for this year, and that's in both math and language. So we have the data from 2 years ago. It'll be easy to progress or to check our progress and see where we are, and implement interventions accordingly.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I hope this was informative, helpful. Again, we'll try to make sure we do them each month. We skipped a month. Our bad. But anyways, again, we thank you for the time. The community has been very involved. It's very appreciative, and we'll continue to do what we can to keep our kids in school and keep teaching the kids.
Absolutely.
Keep our staff, keep everyone safe. And I mean, huge kudos to the staff, right? I mean, I'm looking at other board situations and other meetings that are going on right now from a school board perspective, and our teachers, they're taking this challenge on. They're not trying to get out of teaching the kids. They're brave, right? They're teaching in classroom during this time, and it's a huge kudos to them. We couldn't do in classroom teaching without teachers.
Absolutely. And the teachers want to be there every day, and they want the students there every day, and so we're going to do everything we can to assure that happens.
Okay, yeah, we're blessed to be in the Hagerman Joint School District. So until next time, take care, stay safe, and we will see you later.
Go Pirates!
Go Pirates!